aka Bullets, YouTube channel.
Hurry up, now tell us why you're here.
Todd Marcus, why did you skip qualifying? Kyle Busch Tire will start at pole position with Clint Bokart, who's outside. Row 2 has Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Kurt Busch Tire. Don't say a certain word. Row 3 has Denny Carlin and his former teammate Tony Gasworth, who's outside. Row 4 has two red cars, Juan Pablo Montoya and Kasey Corner, both looking for a win. Row 5 has the Rocket Ryan Newcar and two-time Piston Cup champion Jeff Corvette. Row 6 has Brad Keselowski and Joey Logano, who should not follow the Mean Yellow Cars examples. Row 7 has Jeff Burton the Jumper and Mark Carton, who is quite different than another green car. Row 8 has Matt Kenseth, the 2003 Piston Cup champion, and Lightning McQueen. Row 9 has the 2008 Piston Cup champion, Cal Weathers, and Jamie McCarty, who's outside. Row 10 has Maury Clutchburn and Mike Yankee Jr., to his outside. Row 11 has Brick Yardley and Kevin Harvick, who is currently third in points. Row 12 has Ernie Gearson, who has returned, and Bobby Swift to his outside. Row 13 has Brick Hicks and Carl Edwards to his outside. I wonder what they're going to do. Row 14 has Martin Truex Jr. trying to break his winless streak, and Greg People to his outside. Row 15 is David Rudicard, who has one win, and Phil Takeson, who has 0 to his outside. Row 16 is Jimmy Cables and Reb Meeker, both looking for their very first win. Row 17 has Rex Revler, who's actually won a race, and Speedy Comet, who's outside. Row 18 has David Raycar and Chip Gearings. I hope neither of them crash. Row 19 has David Gillicar and Doug Throttleman. I wonder if Doug Throttleman will jump over cars. Row 20 has Bruce Miller and TG Castlenut to his outside. Row 21 has Rev Rodages, whose name I got wrong in the last video he was in, and Slate Granger. And starting in 43rd is Floyd Mulvihill in the number 70. And these 7 cars, among many others, failed to qualify for this race. And the mean yellow car, Kyle Busch Tire, would lead for the first 5 laps before his teammate Denny Carlin would take the lead from him. He'd lead until lap 17. Chip Gearings would be out on lap 11 because of engine failure. TG Castlenut would surprisingly take the lead on lap 17 and lead for one more lap before Kyle Busch Tire would retake the lead, leading all the way until lap 37. Speedy Comet would be out for 12 races and also accidentally wreck Bruce Miller and Reb Meeker on lap 23. Clint Bokart would take the lead on lap 37 and lead for 40 laps before Denny Carlin would retake the lead, leading until lap 80 where Clint Bokart would retake the lead. He'd lead until lap 98 for a total of 18 laps before Lightning McQueen would take the lead from him. He'd lead until lap 110 where of course Denny Carlin would retake the lead. He'd lead all the way until lap 158 where his teammate Kyle Busch Tire would retake the lead, leading until lap 166 where of course Denny Carlin retakes the lead, leading for just 2 laps before Kurt Busch Tire would take the lead from himself, leading until lap 171 where Lightning McQueen would take the lead from him. He'd lead all the way until lap 188 where of course Denny Carlin has to retake the lead. He'd lead for 20 laps, but then Doug Throttleman would accidentally wreck himself when jumping over Rev Rodages, and then Rev Rodages wrecks himself out. Both of these things happened on lap 208. And Kyle Busch Tire would take the lead after the restart, leading until lap 247. His teammate Joey Logano would be 17th as of lap 240, where he wrecks Floyd Mulvihill and Jamie McCarty. Why? Lightning McQueen would take the lead on lap 247 and lead until lap 265, where Denny Carlin would take the lead from himself, leading for 4 laps before Jimmy Cables would take the lead from him. He'd lead all the way until lap 276, where Denny Carlin would take the lead from him. He'd lead until lap 311, where Mike Yankee Jr. would lead for a very eventful 3 laps. And he lapped almost the entire field, but then everyone would get back on the lead lap on lap 314. How do you lap everyone except for 9 cars, and then they all get back on the lead lap? One of those cars was Kurt Busch Tire, and he'd take the lead on lap 314. But on lap 338, his younger brother Kyle would take the lead from him. But on lap 378, Kyle's teammate Denny Carlin would take the lead from him, and he'd take the white flag. But before that, Joey Logierno is 15th as of lap 399. WX, Slate Granger, Ernie Gearson, David Gillicar, Jeff Corvette, Brick Yardley, TG Castlenut, Mark Carton, Greg Beeple, and Kasey Corner. Why? And Denny Carlin would hold on to the lead to win the 2010 Octane Gain 400, where Kyle Busch would finish second, Tony Gasworth third, Kevin Carvick fourth, and Lightning McQueen rounding out the top 5. And here is the top 20 of the race, where Kurt Busch would finish just one place behind the points leader Lightning McQueen. Jeff Burnton, the jumper, would finish 7th, and somehow David Rudikar finishes 15th. And here is the rest, with Brad Keselowski finishing 21st. David Raycar is the last car to finish on the lead lap, and he finishes 26th. That's a lot of cars that wrecked out this race, unfortunately. And here is the top 20 in points, where Lightning McQueen actually has a smaller lead margin, but it's still huge. And Matt Karzith is still 5th in points, despite the fact he has not yet led a lap this season. At least Phil Tankson moved up a couple positions, and Jeff Burnton makes it to the top 20.
Remember to press the notifications button, which goes ring, ring, ring after you press it. And lightning strikes back, and that's as if you subscribed, of course. And thank you for watching this entire video.
If Jeff Burnton and Doug Throttleman both jump over cars, maybe Jeff Burnton is better at it because Doug Throttleman failed, but Jeff Burnton succeeded to jump over another car without hurting them. At least Jeff Burnton doesn't try to hurt cars like the mean yellow car, Kyle Busch, and he even taught Joey Logierno that wrecking cars is okay. He caused 2 cautions. Why? The 13th race of the 2010 Piston Cup season will be coming out very soon. What should be happening very soon is the end of the 2022 Russian invasion of Ukraine. The Ukrainian people have had enough of war. They just want to live in peace and have freedom. And who stands in the way of this? The tyrant, Vladimir Putin, who started an invasion of Ukraine, where his troops have taken 1/5 of Ukraine's land. Why do you need to take land from Ukraine? You already have enough of your own. And we at the #KBullets YouTube channel will continue to stand with Ukraine. Vladimir Putin, there is no room for your tyranny in Ukraine. And we at the #KBullets YouTube channel will continue to stand with Ukraine. Slava Ukraini! Heroyam Slava!